For nearly 3 years, the world has been told one simple story. Ukraine is fighting Russia, and Russia is to blame for everything that goes wrong. But tonight, that narrative has been shaken not by Moscow, but by Kyiv itself. In a stunning and unusually blunt confession, Ukraine's own military intelligence chief has admitted something few expected to hear. Ukraine did not lose its mobilization battle because of Russia. Ukraine destroyed it from within. So, what exactly went wrong? Why are Ukrainian forces facing a dangerous manpower crisis? And why is this admission sending shockwaves across Washington, NATO, and global military circles? Ukraine is under intense pressure on the battlefield. Russian advances continue in multiple sectors, Western aid is slowing, and the demand for fresh troops has become urgent. Amid this pressure, Ukraine's military intelligence chief, Kyrylo Budanov, made one of the most explosive admissions of the war. Speaking in an interview on December 19th, Budanov openly blamed Ukraine's own leadership, media strategy, and internal corruption for the collapse of the country's mobilization system. His words were direct and impossible to misinterpret. "We destroyed our own mobilization. Those who say otherwise are wrong. We destroyed it ourselves." This statement marks a rare moment of public self-criticism from Ukraine's security leadership. Budanov explained that Ukraine's media handling of conscription completely failed. Instead of explaining why mobilization was necessary, officials allowed it to become a national flashpoint, triggering fear, anger, and resentment among the public. Rather than strengthening unity, the messaging turned conscription into a symbol of chaos and injustice. According to Budanov, some decisions were made deliberately for personal or political gain, while others were made without any understanding of how Ukrainian society would react. The result? A system that lost credibility and a population that stopped trusting it. This confession matters deeply because for years Ukraine and its allies have largely blamed Russia for Ukraine's internal problems. Budanov's statement flips that argument on its head. The consequences of this failure are now being felt on the battlefield. Russia claims Ukraine lost nearly 500,000 troops in 2024 alone, a figure Kyiv disputes. However, Ukrainian officials now openly admit that the country faces a severe manpower shortage. In early December, Ukraine's Parliamentary Defense Secretary revealed that the military is recruiting only about 30,000 soldiers per month, just half of what commanders say is necessary to sustain combat operations. Ukraine's army chief has also publicly warned that the situation is becoming untenable. Units are under strength. Soldiers are exhausted. Rotation cycles are breaking down. And Budanov warns that these issues were not caused by Russia's influence campaigns, but by Ukraine's own internal failures. Corruption, infighting, and poor decision-making hollowed out the mobilization system from within, destroying public confidence and weakening national resilience. For Washington and NATO, this is a deeply uncomfortable reality. Western military planning depends not just on weapons and funding, but on manpower. Without troops, even the most advanced equipment becomes useless. Public anger reached a breaking point in late 2024 when videos began circulating online showing aggressive draft tactics. The footage showed Ukrainian draft officers forcibly detaining men in public, pushing them into vans, sometimes in broad daylight. These clips went viral. Instead of inspiring duty, they fueled outrage. The Ukrainian government later asked citizens to stop sharing these videos, but by then, the damage was already done. Volunteer enlistment plummeted. Protests erupted in several cities. Trust in recruitment offices collapsed. Ukraine has already banned most fighting-age men from leaving the country since 2022. The draft age was lowered from 27 to 25. Still, reports suggest that nearly 100,000 young men fled the country after border rules were briefly relaxed. Meanwhile, desertion and absenteeism inside the armed forces are reportedly rising, adding another layer to the crisis. What Budanov's confession reveals is a deeper truth. Wars are not only lost on the battlefield, they are lost when public trust collapses. This war is entering a dangerous new phase, not just militarily, but politically and socially. If Ukraine cannot fix its internal failures, no amount of weapons or funding will be enough. So the question now is simple. Can Kyiv rebuild trust before it's too late? Backhand index pointing right if you want clear, unfiltered global war analysis. Subscribe to this channel. Backhand index pointing right, hit like to support independent reporting. Backhand index pointing right and comment below. Was this confession overdue or a warning sign of something far worse?